Welcome, beautiful souls. Welcome. This is The Sweet Spot, and you're in Slow Down Sunday. I'm Dr. Derek Sweet, and I'm your host here on The Sweet Spot, where we synthesize science and soul for your high performance life. So, as a board certified psychiatrist, having worked with all kinds of performers in sports, in business, and in life itself, I just love helping people be their best. Whether that's in a game or in business or in life, it's just fun to watch folks live the life they love. This week, all week long, given all the stress that's in the world right now, we made the decision to look to ancient wisdom for some answers. And we spent some time with Psalm 23 and uncovered what it truly means to move with trust, to take action, to build strength, to win, and to restore ourselves. On Monday, we learned that trusting the path allows momentum to flow. On Tuesday, Take Action Tuesday, we faced fear and realized the only way past it is through action. On Wednesday, we learned that the rod and the staff, that structure, isn't a cage. It isn't restriction. It's the foundation that allows us to win. On Thursday, Trust Yourself Thursday, we were reminded that self-trust is the most powerful resource we have. It's the key. Friday, we realized that momentum is already carrying us forward. We just have to trust it. Saturday, yesterday, we reclaimed rest. We learned that the glymphatic system in the brain, our gas for the brain, our cleanser of the brain, needed us to have moments of rest and recovery as a reward for slowing down. And speaking of slowing down, we are in the Slow Down Sunday, not just as an end, but as a gateway to something deeper. Because you see, in stillness is where we find our truest selves. In stillness is where we encounter the divine. Not to confuse Psalms, but there's a saying that in stillness we can find God. But let's focus on Psalm 23. That's what we've been doing all week. He leads me beside the still waters. Not the crashing waters, not the raging currents, but the still waters, where he can restore my soul. I lie down in the green pastures. And we tend to associate all of this with meditation, mindfulness, and mental recovery. Not a bad thing. But where do we spend most of our time? Real talk. We spend it in movement. We tend to associate movement with progress. But what if I told you that stillness is just as important? What if slowing down doesn't mean losing momentum, but actually finding clarity? Because let's be real, when life moves too fast, when everything feels urgent, it's easy to lose sight of where we're going. It might feel okay, but sometimes we're just going in circles, confusing activity and action for progress, going nowhere fast. But in stillness, wow, well, that's where things become clear. And believe it or not, this isn't just spiritual wisdom, it's physics. Well, you know, here on The Sweet Spot, we are science meeting soul. We're synthesizing science and soul. So let's talk about the physics of this for a minute. Think about space. The entire universe, they say, is expanding, moving outward at incredible speeds. But what keeps the galaxies, the solar systems, and the planet in balance is gravity. a force that isn't about pushing or struggling. It's more of a centering force about holding and staying in a central kind of configuration. Astronomers or astrophysicists have discovered something fascinating with all of this. That within every galaxy, at the center of all that motion, all that activity, guess what's at the center? Yeah, you guessed it, stillness. A place of calm in the midst of the cosmic movement. And guess what? The same principle applies to us. We rush, we push, we're moving around, we're getting it done. We feel like we have to force things and make it happen. But in reality, the most powerful movements in the universe are sustained by a center of stillness. And when we allow ourselves to mirror that, to slow down, to reflect, to breathe, we're not stopping momentum. We're actually aligning with it. That's the secret that people just don't get. It took me a while to understand that when I slowed down, when I stopped, when I chose stillness, I was finding clarity. I was finding purpose. I was finding my center. I got into knowing something. The scriptures say, "Be still and know I'm God." There's a kind of peace that comes when we practice stillness. Something that it's hard to explain. You just have to practice it. And the benefits, the blood pressure going down, the pulse slowing down, the blood vessels dilating and having better flow in the body, bringing more oxygen in as we breathe deeply, helping the brain and the body's systems find balance. That comes out of rest, recovery, slowing down, and stillness. There's a saying that the universe gets everything done, but it's in no hurry. You ever notice how the seasons change? The sun rises, it sets. Day turns into night, night into day. And it's happening like clockwork, but it's not rushing. The center of stillness is the power. So that's why we should practice stillness and meditation and slowing down. Maybe it's taking a break from constantly reacting and instead sort of choosing to observe. Maybe it's stepping away from those distractions and giving our minds the space to think. Maybe it's the sitting in the silence and letting the stillness do its thing and its work. Maybe that's the secret to it all. And how simple that this ancient wisdom from Psalm 23 is telling us the power that stillness can give us. Because in stillness, gravity holds things together. In stillness, your mind resets. In stillness, you see what's been there all along. Well, that's it, my friends. Let's end with an affirmation. You ready? Here we go. In stillness, I find my strength. In stillness, I find my clarity. Let's do that again. Take a nice breath. In stillness, I find my strength. In stillness, I find my clarity. You see, you don't have to force it. Just let gravity do its work. Slow down, breathe, and trust. Trust that you're exactly where you need to be, even with the problem, even with the struggle, even if things aren't perfect. Slow down. Give it a chance. Be still. And know that something bigger than you is on your side today. That's it for Slow Down Sunday, my friends. Stay centered, beautiful souls. This is Dr. Sweet. We can do this. We've done a great job this week with Psalm 23. We've allowed the ancient wisdom to come back to give us some hope at a time when so many things are happening. Take care of yourself. I look forward to seeing you for Making Moves Monday as we move into yet another insight. Love and blessings.